Hello everyone, Desert Gold here. Thought I'd put a quick little video together. First I'd start off, I just got some items in the mail today. I've got a exciting new little SBR project coming up soon and started getting some parts in for it. Thought I'd show you those real quick. I am gonna be putting together a SBR utilizing this lower. So right now I've got a single point attachment off to the side there. Let's see if I can bring this camera in a little bit. Got a single point right, as you can see, hopefully. In the time that it's taken me to process my Form 1 and wait for the ATF to grant me permission to bring home my little pride and joy, I've been picking up little odds and ends here. One of the items I'm planning on incorporating on the rifle would be one of these stream lights. This is the TLR1S actually. This has got the strobe function to it. And I'm kind of probably deviating from the norm as far as lighting goes for a rifle, but I like the small compact size of this, 160 lumen. It's got strobe function if you need it. I also got in today well, let's get back to the attachment point. One of the items I did get was GG&G center point attachment for a swivel single point. I was looking for Daniel Defense. They were out of stock right now, so I'm going to give these guys a try and see how that works out. Getting back to the Streamlight, I got pressure switch for remote control on the Streamlight. So these will all be elucidated, if you want to use a pertinent term. Actually, these will all be brought out in my SBR video when I get going on that. But the purpose of today's video is for a procedure for attaching the Osprey to different calibers. This is my Glock 27. As you know, it's a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson. I will safety check it in front of you guys. There's the mag. It's my CCW, one of them anyway, so it is a loaded clip. Empty. Okay. You know me, well, you probably don't know, but I am one of these multitasker kind of guys. I like Glocks because, as you've seen in some of my other videos, you can take this, and a lot of people have got videos on YouTube about taking the barrel out of this and changing it to a 9. The Glock 20, you can go 357 SIG, 9. No, you can't go 9. You can go 40 Smith & Wesson, 357 SIG. So this is my Osprey that you've seen. It's set up for 45 caliber. You can take a larger caliber suppressor and use it on a smaller caliber. Obviously, vice versa. You cannot go from small to big, but this will work out. I got in today. I already had a 9mm barrel for my Glock 27. Nice little conversion when you want to shoot 9mm. And today I got in the, if you want to call it the big brother to that, it's the threaded barrel for the Glock 27. And we shall proceed to essentially change this from a Glock 27 to a Glock 26, if you will. Pull out the, pull out the barrel. You've seen everybody do this, so it's no mystery. We'll take our new 9mm barrel, slip it in, your recoil spring. In my case, I'm using a Laser Max, as you've probably seen before, laser pointer. And voila, you have a Glock 26 threaded barrel for all practical purposes. Now, the only other additions that you will need for this are the 9mm magazine, which I have laying around here as we speak. Okay. And then the ability to switch your suppressor from 45 to 9mm. And how do you do that? Well, you do it with one of these. This is the Osprey conversion piston for 9mm. So basically the procedure is pretty straightforward. You open up your cam retainer right at the bottom here. In your box with your Osprey, you will receive this wrench. And what this is for is to put in the end of your suppressor and use it to unscrew the retaining ring holding in the piston. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your cam lever is down all the way, otherwise the locking teeth will keep you from being able to unscrew this. And you just unscrew. You just unscrew it. All right. And piston and spring will come out. Now, basically, the system here, which is quite dirty, I think maybe I will use this. There's a spring, hold on a second. There's a spring, as you can see on here, and a retaining ring at the end that you pull off. Okay, I just pulled it off the end here. Okay. Once you pull this retention ring off, and you can remove the spring from the adapter or piston. And this is where you bring in your new boy. This is the 9mm spring. And the, the retaining ring. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. These, if you look on the retention ring, there's little notches or etches in the ring. These are to line up with the grooves in the, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this in view. You see the groove in the piston right there. Alright, so there's 3 there, and the end of, I don't know if it's going to show up on the video, but there's 3 little notches in the ring. So you take your spring, put it on the piston, line up the notches to the grooves, and put it on. There you go. Simple as that. You've just converted your 45 Osprey suppressor to a 9mm. Alright. Another 120 in the garage here. So, making sure that the cam piston or cam lever is down, your locking mechanism, and you just reverse the process. Screwing the new piston back in, using your wrench to tighten, making sure cam lever is down. Good and tight. You now have a suppressor that will work on a 9mm. So let's see. Okay, so we've got it tight, but the bottom is on top, top's on bottom. Not very effective. So you make sure your cam lever, like I said, is open, and you continue to turn the suppressor until it timing is right, everything is lined up. Now close it good and tight. You now have a Glock 26/27 with a 45 ACP suppressor on it. Kind of an intriguing little thing, isn't it? So let's carefully, or quickly, I should say, review. The process is pretty straightforward. You use your wrench to take your pistons, your caliber piston out. The wrench is used to take that out. You get your spring retaining ring off by just pulling it. The cam lever must be in the down position, unlocked. Using the provided wrench, you will unscrew the piston from the suppressor. Once changed out, you take your suppressor, put it on the barrel, and you would close it or tighten it all the way down till it's good and tight. Now it will continue to turn, and when you first put it in, it might wind up like this, it might wind up like that, it could wind up any orientation. At this point, when it is completely tight against the back of the barrel and it's not timed properly because it's not oriented, you open your cam lever, making sure it's disengaged, and you spin it all the way around till it's timed properly, such as this. Once it's timed properly, you close the lever. It's good and tight. Right? Perfectly lined up. Right? Nice thing I like about Osprey, look at, you can still get a sight picture even with the standard night sights that are on this pistol. Really nice setup. The neat thing about this also is that once you take it off the weapon and shoot with it off the weapon, once you've adjusted it with the cam, you put it back on, it will always line up perfectly. Take it on and off as often as you want. That's always going to line up for this gun. Another nice thing I've mentioned in the past is an excellent suppressor to run dry. It's hearing safe dry. So next step, we take this out and have a little fun. How's that?